talked to it about some people logged in and I had some registered with the ACCT.
Yeah.
Kicked them off right away.
Okay.
And then
They can get back to the site?
they asked me to pay again.
Oh, I'll send you a link to where they can get
I'll just message you later on.
By the way,
Yeah.
yeah.
Taking care of you.
Dawn is. She'll be back in a second. Katie? All right, retailing. We'll go back to some of the result-producing activities. First is use and share the products, share the business opportunity, and attend and promote the events. Again, you have to take action on all of these. Retailing helps to build your business. Okay, it's going to create profit for your business. It's going to help replace your startup expenses and cover your monthly overhead expenses. If you are not profitable in the first 90 days, you're probably not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? It helps generate ongoing business volume. It identifies potential business prospects. If you talk to Dawn Hands, she has a lot of customers. She moves a lot of products. And one thing that you see happen all the time is that people who are her customers, strong customers, they end up becoming business owners at the same time. And it builds belief. That BV and IBV creates a weekly income for you. Your objective in retail is to create a repeat customer base of 10 to 15 customers that order 30 BV and 20 IBV of products monthly. You should be purchasing at least 100 BV of products per month for yourself and for your family, and at least 15 IBV monthly from your business. Now, when you look at that, some people will say, well, what's 30 BV? Initially, when they came up with 30 BV, it was a small bottle of OPC3 and a small bottle of multivitamin. It was 17 BV for one, 13 BV for the other, and they figured that's a good monthly basis. I like to change it up a little bit because I like selling easy products. What are the easy products that I was talking about? Multivitamins, something I don't have to explain to somebody. The Awake products, those are great easy products to move to get people started and then move on to other things. Typically what I will move people onto after the multivitamin is the Daily Essentials Kit, because the Daily Essentials Kit is a great value, and that way they can be on, I sell the kit as one product, but they're actually on 4 products, so it helps you even more. So what your goal is to do is create 10 customers that are each using 30 BV. How much BV would that be per month then? 300. And then each of them using 200 IBV and shopping on your shop.com website and making that generate more volume. So, base 10-7 strong is saying I have an organization of 7 distributorships. Okay, 3 on each side, 1 including yourself, that's 7. Here alone, if you just follow this system, you can be at $300 a month. $300 a month, go back to the U.S. Treasury bond, and how much is that worth to you? It's $180,000 in the bank at 2% interest. Developing a business that has a strong retail will keep your business moving stronger and faster and more consistent. If it's just based on registrations, your volume will fluctuate a lot. Your income will fluctuate a lot. So you want to have a strong retail base. If you don't focus on retail and you have an organization, let's say of 50 distributorships, and they're each doing 50 BV, that's only 2,500 BV per month. If they're doing 10 IBV each, it's 500 IBV. So at best, you're looking at $600 a month, $300 every 3rd month from IBV. But if you take that same equation and you make it a more BV or retailing focused organization, and you just implement base 10-7 strong, you have 50 distributorships at 400 BV per month. Now you're at over 20,000 BV. Do you see the difference in the same type of organization? By doing that, you're at over $6,000 a month in BV, $3,000 a month in IBV, and $9,000 a month total. So is it important that when we talk about the basic 5, you have to focus on the basic 5, not just the 4th in prospecting and recruiting. it can't be just about retailing either, because you need to expand that and have more distribution, more leverage, etc. So it's important for you to have a retail base at the same time and duplicate that within your organizations. Specialize in an area. Utilize that university concept that I talked about earlier. Go to the web center training, the motives trainings, the product trainings. Become a TLS coach. Learn about nutrimetrics. Talk to health professionals. You can't talk to health professionals or bring on health professionals unless you're a nutrimetrics consultant, but it's good to have these in your back pocket. If you like a particular area at one point, but then you decide that you want to switch majors later on, you can do that. Home shopping list. This is one of the key pieces that I use when building my business. Every time I show the plan, before I show the plan, I pull the home shopping list out. I have them go through it. It's a 2-page form, carbon copy basically. They check off all the things that they're already using in their home. And then as I go through the plan, I'll refer back to it so they can flip it up to the next page. That'll show what they can transfer their buying habits over to Market America exclusive products. Use the product catalogs. There's a new product code. It's 669. Okay? It's got our brand new catalogs out there. Did you get any in yet? Have you seen them? They are awesome. They got new products in them, etc. Some of the keys of retailing. The first thing is you need to be shopping from yourself. Are you using your shopping cart or are you using someone else's shopping cart? Transfer your buying habits. The more of your buying habits that you can transfer, the more you'll be able to translate that into BV and IBV. Use the home advisor. The home advisor is an integral piece in going through your home to find out, well, this is what I use in this room, this is what I use in this room, this is what I use in this room, and how you can translate that over and see what you can move over and how much you can save and how much value you would have in BV. If you haven't done the home advisor yet, you're missing out on what you could transfer over. Build relationships with people. People hate to be sold, but they love to buy. Go to a car dealership. You get surrounded by sales guys. You're like, I'm just looking. Okay? But as soon as you're ready to buy, you can't find anybody. So you need to be able to identify what people are looking for so you can help them get what they're doing. Ask questions. How are you doing today? And zip it. Let people talk. People will complain. When they complain, now you can identify a need, and at that point, you can offer a solution. Sometimes it might be a product-related solution. Sometimes it'll be a business-related solution. Tell your story. Tell someone else's story if you don't have a story, because stories sell. Okay? One of the examples I have for stories selling, I play softball every Thursday night. It's a co-ed team. We just have a lot of fun, what have you. And last year, beginning of July, one of my team members came up to me and said, "Hey, Tom, do you have anything to help me lose weight?" I said, "Sure. What are you looking to do?" She's like, "Well, I want to lose about 30 pounds." I said, "Okay, when would you like to lose 30 pounds by?" She said, "Well, I'm getting married the first week in August." I said, "You came to me a little late." And so I said, "Okay, here are your different options." And she's like, "Tom, I'm getting married in a month. I don't have all this money to put in all these different products and completely change my eating habits because that's not going to happen." And so I said, "Okay, at the very least, try our TLS core." And I didn't even explain it. I said, "Try it. On average, people lose about 11 to 14 pounds on it, but try it." So she started taking the product. After I got back from convention, she called me up and she said, hey, Ton, I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. I said, "You did what?" She said, "I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. I'm like, "All right, cool, congratulations." And so she was happy for her wedding. So from there, at the next softball game, she said, "Hey, I need some more of that core stuff. Can you bring some?" I said, "No problem." So I get to softball, we get to the end of the game, and we're all by the picnic tables and we're all talking. And she's probably from maybe here from me to Alex, okay? And I said, "Hey, Dalen, do you still need that core?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "How much weight did you lose?" She said, 30 pounds. I said, "How long did that take you?" She said, 30 days. And every other female that was around there, her heads turned up. I mean, some of the guys even turned on. I intentionally brought 6 bottles with me. I sold 4 more bottles on top of what I sold, the 2 that I sold her. Did I have to explain anything? No. Stories work. Okay? realistically, it does not matter what's in our products. People say, I gotta know all this stuff about all our products in order to sell it. No, you don't. You need to know somebody else's story or your own story, and you can sell the product. I used to have horrible allergies. 2 months in the spring, 2 months in the fall. You wouldn't want to get within 3 feet of me or you'd wear it. It was not pretty. Okay. Started taking a couple of products. Took the OPC3 along with our antioxidant formula, which you can only find in our custom cocktail now. And it was amazing because I still had my allergies, but now it was like 2 days in the spring and 2 days in the fall that I had my allergies. I was able to take care of it naturally through our products, and I was able to pay myself to do it at the same time. But third parties our examples are the best. Because if you use a third party example, people don't feel like you're trying to sell. You know, if someone says, I got horrible allergies. Oh, I know this guy, he also had horrible allergies. He started taking a couple of these products and it worked out great for him. I don't know if you'd be interested, but would you be willing to try it? Can't guarantee it'll work for you, but would you be willing to try it? And people are like, yeah, sure, I'll try it if it helps me do this or do that. There's a lot of things wrong with this picture. If you haven't seen this yet, this is bad. First thing is that it's a jersey tucked in. Never do that. Shane will say something about the Packer jersey, that's fine.
I always say put it on your belly.
Fair enough. The gold chain hanging out, and I've got more chins than a Chinese phone book. Not cool. In total, I lost 64 pounds, over 7 inches of my waist, 11 inches of my belly, and I feel incredible. Thank you, sir. I went from being this is my 35th birthday, that was my 40th birthday. Okay? And I felt amazing. I couldn't believe. The funny thing is here, I didn't realize I was fat. I didn't realize how big I really was. I felt okay in my skin. I didn't know that I'm like, I'm getting older. You know, it is what it is. But once I lost the weight, it was amazing on how much better I felt. I was in better shape at 40 than I was even when I graduated college. Close the sale though. This is where many of you drop the ball. You have to address any of the issues that they may have, answer any of the questions they have. Then you have to take the order. What product would you like to get started with? What kit would you like to get started with? And then you have to follow up with people. Get the repeat sales. The majority of people don't get repeat sales because they don't ask for them. They don't follow up with their customers. Get additional products. Have them go through the website. Like I said, if they've been on products for a while, whether they use your website or not, get them a catalog. You know, ship them a catalog, put it in the mail, see them, drop it off, whatever. Say, hey, I know you've been taking some of the products, just want to let you know that we've got other things that you might be interested in. They'll page through it. They're already your customer. They trust you, so they will look at other things. Implement some sort of follow-up system. It doesn't have to be 1, 3, 7, 14, 21. I follow up a lot in the beginning to make sure that they're taking the product. I don't follow up a lot in the beginning to find out if they're getting results. I don't know if they're going to get results yet or that fast. Okay, for some health challenges, it's taken decades to get them. It's not going to go away in 7 days. Okay. LearnYourShop.com website. Get familiar with it. Learn the different pieces of it. Make sure that they download Shop Buddy. If you're going to send them a link to a particular product, down at the bottom it says link to this page. When you hover over it, it will pop up your shop.com site, and make sure that it has your web portal name in here. If you're just sending them the URL, it doesn't have your web portal name in it, so it's not going to go to you. You have to make sure you go to the page that you want to link to, hover over it, copy and paste that, and send that to them. That will help ensure that it gets to your website. Make sure people are on auto ship. First time order, you know, do whatever you can to get them on auto ship because it'll be easier for you to follow up in the future. There's different websites you can use with the TLS overviews, the Nutriphysical. Between the home shopping list and the Nutriphysical, those are the only 2 tools that I used when I built my retail base. Because I didn't know anything about any of the products when I started. I've been on board now for 10 years. I've got a much better idea of what our products can do. I probably know way more than I let on. I joke, we have products, okay? I do that all the time. But the reality is, I didn't want to be the vitamin guy. When I started my business, I was the guy that everybody wanted to go to the bars with and party with. They were not going to listen to me when it came to health and nutrition products. I beat up my body more than anybody did in my circle of friends. And so when it came to the supplements, I said, I don't know what you need. Go to my website, take the Nutri-Physical. It is designed by doctors based on how you answer the questions. It'll suggest products for you. And we'll get started on a few of them and we'll go from there. That's how I sold products. That made it easy. Then you have to follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay? Any questions on retailing? Prospecting, recruiting, and sponsoring. We'll go back to result-producing activities. So far, we've used and shared the products. Now we have to share the business opportunity. And we talked about attending and promoting the events. The richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for a job. If you know anybody that knows everybody, you need something done, you need a contact for this or that, it's just that one person that you can always go to, that's who you want in your business. I was that guy. Somebody said, I need a concrete guy, I need someone to do landscaping, I need someone to do this, I need, a computer guy, whatever it may be. I was the one that always knew somebody that could do it. Half the things I could do, but I never wanted to admit it, so I just always told them about somebody else. Those are the kinds of people that you want, because they have good networks to work with. It duplicates your efforts and leverages your time. I would rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people rather than 100% of the efforts of my own. That's called working smarter, not harder. J. Paul Getty, the founder of Getty Oil Company, back in the 1950s would have been regarded as the richest man in the world. Okay? It's about teamwork. That's teamwork. I tried to get my kids to do something like that. They just would not do it. So what's your objective? It's activating your business. Activation. Ultimately, your goal is to build 2 sales and distribution organizations, each generating in excess of 5,000 BV and 2,500 IBV every week. Did I tell you this is how many people you have to sponsor? Did I say this is how much product you have to sell? No. Your goal is to generate 2 organizations, one on your left, one on your right, that generates more than 5,000 BV per week. That's the goal. Does that mean you have to sponsor 5 people, or 10 people, or 100 people? I don't know. I haven't sponsored 100 people. I know that. Okay? But I'm just saying, that's your goal. If you can do it with a smaller organization that generates more volume, great. If you can do it with a larger organization that everybody does a little bit, great. It doesn't matter. But that's what your goal is. The reason people don't sponsor is because they don't have any prospects to sponsor. You must prospect and recruit in order to sponsor. Okay? It's not, you can't just walk up to somebody and say, okay, you're coming on board. You have to suspect them, you have to talk to them, you have to build a rapport, find out what their needs are, help them find a solution for it, and hopefully it'll be the unfranchised system. You cannot get what you've never had unless you're willing to do what you've never done. Be proud to be a great recruiter, because the great recruiters make the most income. I will bet you that the people in this room that are making the most money have recruited more people. Don't be ashamed of recruiting. Don't think that it's a bad thing. It's a great thing. Because if you believe in what you have, you want to share that with people. You want other people to have whatever success they want to have and help them get there. Recruiting is a numbers game. I will admit that. It is a numbers game, and you may be great at this business, and you'll go through less numbers to get what you need. You may be horrible at this, and you may go through a lot more people, okay, before you get those yeses. But it's a numbers game. You keep going until the yeses come. But once they come on board, now it's a people game. Now it's helping them establish their why, help them with the business, help them with products, helping them build to their goals. Let me repeat that. It's helping them build to their goals. Not helping them build to my goals. It's helping them get to what they want. Because if you help them get what you want, what they want, you will get what you want. Does that make sense? The most important activity every day is making your calls. I started young. How my mom found that picture, I have no idea. At one point I was cute. All right. My daughter started young too. We're at Disney World. She still had to be on the phone. Huh? No. Understanding the process. There is a process, and there's things you need to do in order to get there. And the first thing you need to do is you need to start with your names list. You have to have between 60 and 200 names. Some people say, I don't know if I can come up with 200 names. The reality is the average person knows between 2,000 and 3,000 people. The question is, can you remember who they are? You also don't need to know everything about them. You don't have to know their first name, last name, social security number, how many kids they have, how many siblings they have. All you need to know is that they are a possibility, and you can put them on your list. Okay? Where are you going to find them? Start with your phone book. Okay? Nobody has a black book anymore. Everybody uses their phones. Okay? Start in your phone. Everywhere you go, anything that you do, look on your social networks. I mean, I know people that have hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of friends on Facebook. Don't prejudge. Remember the picture of Ty? Don't prejudge. Let them say no. It doesn't matter if they make $1 million a year or if they make $5,000 a year or if they make nothing right now. Okay? Don't prejudge. Let them say no, because once they said no, you don't have to wonder anymore. Okay? Then you follow up with them every 6 to 9 months. Use social networks to fill your funnel. Okay? This is, if you don't know who to put on your list, look at old high school classmates, college classmates, organizations that you've been a part of, other places that you've worked, current customers. Start a conversation with them. Hey, how are you doing? Haven't talked to you since high school. What's been going on? Okay? And then follow what they're doing. Be positive on Facebook so when you make posts so that they see what you're doing. They'll start to ask you questions. Some things that are good to do on Facebook, and there are some things that are not so good to do on Facebook. On Facebook, use Facebook groups. Okay? You want to talk about business to other business owners, keep it a secret group so that you can voice opinions, have challenges, do whatever you want to do. A place that you can bounce things off of people, but not to be negative per se either, because if it's a larger group. On your regular Facebook posts, share some successes that you're having with your business. Share your life though too. Okay? Like other people's posts, your friends. If you see a post that seems positive or something that's cool, like it and follow them often, and then they'll start to do the same thing to you and develop relationships. Don't recruit publicly. I see this all the time. Who do you know that wants to make 6-figure income part-time in their underwear? Okay? That's weird. Okay? People don't understand that. People don't understand what we do. So when you say something like that, here's the biggest challenge. When you put a post like that out there, isn't there always that one person that says, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, or it's one of those things, or something? But when that happens, it blows out every one of your friends that saw that post. So don't put posts like that out there. Develop relationships, ask people questions, identify needs, and when it's time to recruit, do it in a private message. Pick up the phone, call them. Don't put your website on the partner store feed, so if you're on like Kohl's page or something like that, don't put your website. They don't like that. If someone in your organization puts a post out there about losing weight, okay, it's not your job as another unfranchised owner to go post on that same, or comment on that same post and say, oh my gosh, TLS is the most amazing thing on the planet. I lost 175 pounds yesterday. Okay? Please don't do that. Those posts are not for unfranchised owners. Those posts are for other people that are not customers or not business partners yet. Don't be weird. Mass business posts won't get you very far. Keep it about 80% personal, 20% business. You can be positive on a lot of things, but don't put a lot of business posts like advertisements per se. And I don't add very many Market America distributors. I don't do it because my goal is to use social media as a platform to generate more customers and more business owners, not to be friends with other MA distributors. Does that make sense? I can be on a group and be able to communicate with them. I don't need them as friends on Facebook. They can be friends otherwise. All right, let's get through that. Top 10 list. Create your possibilities list. On your possibilities list, I don't want you to prejudge. You never know what somebody else's situation was like. When my sponsor came to me, I mean, I was already making two six-figure incomes. I had my rental property, my tanning salons. I was doing very well. I lived in a nice 3,000 square foot house in Germantown, drove nice cars, had multiple motorcycles. I didn't need the business. But if he would have prejudged me, I would have never been in the business. Does that make sense? So when I saw it, I saw it as another stream of income. Great. Ongoing residual income. That's why I got my rental property to begin with. So why not have something else like that? On your top 10, this is where you can prejudge a little bit and say, these are the things that people I think are going to have the most, are most likely to come on board. Most likely not only need it, but also want it. That's a big key. You want people that want it, not necessarily need it. Because the people that need it may not do anything differently to get out of the situation. You'll have different approaches for them, build relationships with them, and then continue to add possibilities to your list. Now that you have a list, though, possibilities list, you have to make some of the calls. You start with a bio sheet. If you've never made calls before, start with a bio sheet so that you can have a senior business partner work with you on how to approach them effectively. But one of the biggest fears that people have when making phone calls is they don't have that answer to what is it. They don't want to make up the phone. They don't want to pick up the phone because they're afraid that that person just might ask them, what is it? But the reality is less than 10% of the people that you talk to on the phone even ever ask you, what is it? Or what do you do? Okay? What do you do? For me, my boilerplate answer. I did this today. I'm sitting on my back porch with my dad. He's got his cell phone bill. It's like $330. I'm like, this is ridiculous, Dad. Let me see if I can get it lower for you. So I called AT&T for him, pretended to be him with him sitting next to me. And I was talking to this lady. Really nice. I found out she's in Missouri. Her husband works from home. Did a whole bunch of different, I just talked to her. And she's like, well, what do you do? I said, well, I'm an internet marketer. And I paused. And well, actually what I do is I teach people how to utilize the internet to make money. She's like, oh, really? That sounds really interesting. And I left it. I dropped it. I didn't say anything else. And then we continued to talk about AT&T stuff, got the bill situated, et cetera. Got my dad, $70 credit and a few other things. And at the end I said, something? I don't know, you and your husband might be interested. But you had said that your husband, the only time you get to see your husband, you get to see the back of his head because he's always working at the computer. If you keep your business options open, why don't you go to my website and take a look? I knew I couldn't get her information because those phone calls were always recorded, and I know people that work for AT&T. And so I gave her the information. 20 minutes later, she registered on my website. I mean, that was pretty cool. So it's about creating that rapport, identifying a need, but having an answer to what you do. All right? What do you do? Many of you still have jobs, and that's okay. You got to pay the bills somehow. But you can say, well, I'm a computer programmer, but I also own an internet franchise. Bring up what you do when, from a business standpoint. Remember, this is a lifestyle. You don't pick and choose. You have to do it all the time. All right? Keep it in the back of your mind. I'm a hairstylist, but I also own an internet franchise. I'm a nail tech, but I also own an internet franchise. You can say a lot of different things. I'm a plumber, but I also am a bonus beauty advisor. If that's what you do, you can say that. All right. I am a computer programmer, but I'm also an artist developer. I work at a bank, and I'm also an artist developer. But if you bring it up, you can generate interest. And what's nice is you can change whatever you want to say based on the person you're talking to. You have to have an answer to what is it. This is the boilerplate Market America answer. Market America is a product brokerage and internet marketing company specializing in one-on-one marketing and social shopping. Has anybody ever actually said that to anybody? I tried. I couldn't even get it all out. Okay? I think it's too much. So shorten it a little bit. We're a product brokerage and internet marketing company. That's all you have to say. All I did is take half of it, the beginning and the end, and I cut it off. I said, we're a product brokerage and internet marketing company. They're not going to understand what those terms mean anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Have a 2-minute commercial. This is your why. This is why you're building the business. I started building my own franchise in 2004. I believe in multiple streams of income as time moved on. You know, I got married, we have 2 kids now, and the reason that I build my business is because I want to be, my wife and I want to be stay-at-home and be able to provide for our kids anything that they want without them becoming brats. All right? I mean, a lot of times that's what I say, because that's important. I don't want them to just get it all fed on a silver spoon, you know, okay? But your why, you can tailor to whoever you're talking to. If you're talking to somebody that wants to be a stay-at-home parent, tailor it to that. You know, my why is I want to help other people become stay-at-home parents. You know, help other people. When I grew up, I went to 14 schools, okay, before I made it to high school. As I was growing up, wherever we went, there was always someone else to take us under their wing. I don't know who they are anymore, but now it's instilled in me that it's my job to help other people. That's why I love doing what I do. Whatever is going to, it says 2 minutes. Please don't make it 2 minutes. Ty's got a 20-minute, 2-minute commercial. All right. Try and keep it. Most people's attention spans don't last much more than 30 or 60 seconds. That's why commercials are only 30 or 60 seconds. Warm market. How are you going to make those phone calls? The warm market are the people that you know. Bottom line, if you know them, you pick up the phone and you just call them. Don't think about it. Just do it. I like to use a script. There are other people that don't like to use a script. I don't care what you want to do, but do something. Okay? For your cold market, you can ask people, if you're out and about, what do you do for a living? How long have you worked here? How long have you lived in the area? What brought you to the area? What does your spouse do? Do you have any family in the area? Do you do this full time? If I go to a restaurant and there's a server there, you can almost guarantee that I'm going to talk to that person about the business in some way, shape, or form. I will, after they've already taken my drink order, the next time they come back, hey, great customer service, how long have you been doing this? And then if they say, well, 2 weeks, well, what'd you do before that? Well, I worked here or here. Is this your only job? And they tell me usually, most servers, it's not their only job. You know, and so I can open a door to say, hey, at the end, and I don't do it till right before I leave, but hey, I don't know if you'd be interested or not, but you've had incredible customer service, you took great care of my kids. Do you keep your business options open, earning additional income? Really simple. Yes, nor what is it, but either way I get to write off the meal. Do you keep your business options open is the #1 line that I use. If you want a one-liner, that's a great one-liner. My wife and I own our own business. Do you keep your business options open? Especially when I'm out alone. I always say my wife and I own a business so it doesn't look like I'm hitting on people. All right? When you set appointments, why do we make the calls? The only reason to make the call is to set the appointment. Become task-oriented when you're doing these little pieces, because I think a lot of you try to do too much at one time. When you pick up the phone and you're talking to somebody, your goal is to set the appointment. Your goal is not to talk about the 2 to 3 year plan or talk about left, right, pink stuff, go. You know, it's not about saying build 2 organizations to China. It's not about product brokerage concept and that we stay in front of the trends and, you know, the shop.com website. People say too much. You want to just set the appointment, because then at the appointment, then your task is to go through that information. Prepare. If you're going to make the phone calls, be prepared. Have names and numbers. You'd be amazed. I have call nights sometimes when people don't show up with, well, they'll show up with names but no numbers. I'm like, how are you going to make the phone calls? All right. Have your appointment book. If you use your phone, that's fine. Paper appointment book is so much better. It's easier to keep track of what's going on. And know what's happening. Know that there's a new distributor basic 5 coming up. Know that there's an ECCT coming up. Know that on Tuesday, tomorrow, Shane Kringle is going to be showing the business plan. Okay? Know who's showing the plan the week after that. That's why one of the reasons why we distribute the lineup, because we want you to help know what's going on. And if you know a little bit about the person, it's easier to promote it to the prospect that you're talking to. When is the best time to call? Doesn't matter. Pick up the call. Pick up the phone. Make the phone call. I don't care if it's 7 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock at night. Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday, doesn't matter. Pick up the phone. Because if you don't pick up the phone, the appointment's never going to get set. If you get a voice message, Okay, if you get somebody's voicemail, what kind of a message do you leave? Hey, this is Daniel. Give me a call back at your earliest convenience. Or if it's a friend of yours, hey, it's Daniel. Call me. You know, whatever. Please don't be that person that says, hey, I've got this great business opportunity I wanted to talk to you about. It's a 2 to 3 year plan. It's called the Unfranchised System. It's powered by Market America and Job.com. Blah blah blah. If you leave that message, is that person calling you back? No. It's conversation, not presentation, okay? Just talk to people, be normal. If they're busy on the date that you're suggesting, what do? Pick another date. People will have I'll see it, new people. We'll have a home business presentation set up for them. This will be the date that we're doing it. And if they make the phone call and the person's not available, they said, okay, I'll talk to you later, click. No. Schedule the one-on-one, book them into the UBP, whatever it may be, but have other options available. We do call workshops. Anybody here ever been a part of a call workshop before? Incredible way to help generate more appointments faster. It also creates accountability. You can have multiple people do it one time. It's easier to do once you've seen other people do it. You also can be coached, and it can be done with 2 or more people. There's a lot of different results. I mean, Don, I know you've been a part of a bunch of them. Dawn, Katie, you guys have all been part of them. But literally, you can make 40, 50, 60 appointments in a group of 8, 10 people easily in a night. And don't be worried about the no's, because less than 5% usually say no. And if they do, it's okay. We're not trying to talk people into what we do. We want to identify that want more and they're willing to do something about it. Not everybody wants to be a ditch digger. Not everybody wants to be an accountant. Not everybody wants to be a doctor. Not everybody wants to be a nurse. Not everybody wants to be an engineer. It's okay. We're just looking for people that keep their business options open and they're willing to do something about it. I also do a virtual call night where I do it for more of my remote areas, not necessarily locally, because a lot of times, if you live, an hour away or more, it's hard for you to get to a call night. So what we'll do is we'll do a virtual call night. We'll call into a conference call, and we'll take roll, find out who's going to be a part of the call night. Andy, you've been on a part of them, right? And what it allows us to do is it allows us to coach right away. If somebody has somebody that we want to go through an example of how we would approach somebody, spend the next 45 minutes making phone calls on your own. But how many phone calls can you make on your own in 45 minutes? A lot, okay? And then at the end of the hour, we jump back on the conference call and give, and we give the results, okay? It still gives you accountability in the same regard. 3 strikes and you're out. What do I mean by that? If I have somebody that I've talked to about the business, I sat down with them, they rated themselves a 2 or a 3, I try to book them into the next event. Maybe it's a UBP. Okay, I get to the day of the UBP, I call to remind them of it. I don't confirm appointments. If you confirm an appointment, does that give them the out to cancel? Say, I can't make it, I'm busy, etc. If you remind them of it, they're less likely to cancel. All right, so I call them to remind them. They no-show. Does that happen sometimes? Sure. I will call them the next day. I won't call them 15 times that night or text them, where are you? Are you here yet? Did you park yet? Did you get stuck in traffic? Don't be like that. Your doctor doesn't do that to you, right? When you schedule an appointment, don't do that to other people. So I'll call them the next day. Hey Daniel, we had an appointment scheduled last night. I missed you. Give me a call back so we can reschedule the appointment. Daniel still doesn't call me back. I don't call the next day. I don't call multiple times the same day. I'll wait about 48 hours and I'll call them back again if they haven't called me. Hey Daniel, this is Ton. We had an appointment on Tuesday. Still trying to get in touch with you. Give me a call back so we can reschedule. That's it. If I still have not heard from them, probably by Saturday or even Monday, I will call Daniel again. Hey Daniel, I just wanted to call, touch base with you. We had an appointment last week, Tuesday. I still haven't been able to get a hold of you. I hope that you're okay. But for right now, I'm going to assume that you're no longer interested in. Now, this is where most of you go the wrong direction. You'll say, I'll assume that you're no longer interested in the business, and I'll give you a call back in 3 or 6 months. If you've done your job right, you've identified what that person wants, and the reason why they would want to be building their own franchise, and you can say, hey Daniel, I'll assume that you're no longer interested in working for the man, okay, whatever it is. You're no longer interested in being a stay-at-home parent. You're no longer interested in going on more vacations or creating or retiring early or whatever it is. Their why, their reason. And if I'm wrong, that's okay. Give me a call. Otherwise, I'll just assume I'll just call you back in 3 or 6 months. Now, why do I say 3 or 6 months? Because I never know when I'm going to call somebody back. If I call them back in 2 months, I call them back in 8 months. It's not going to matter. If I say a hard time or a specific time, then I'm kind of tied to that, and I don't like to go against my word. So I give a range. A lot of times, that person will call you back right away and say, you know something, I was really busy. I got slammed at work for this. I'm sorry I didn't give you a call back. When can we get together again? Does it happen every time? No. But it gives them an out to stay out, or it also gives them an in because they felt bad that they haven't given you a call back yet. All right. Do your prospects end up in the prospect protection plan? If they do, it's because of something you're saying to them. Watch your terminology. Okay. Home-based business, you can say work at home. Home-based isn't as bad as it used to be because technology, you're seeing more and more people working from home. Sponsor, this nothing against AA, but this is not AA. All right. So use a senior business partner or business associate. Distributor, use unfranchised owner. Organization, it's part of your team. You are not getting into Market America. You weren't gotten. You didn't sign up. You started a business. If you say, I got into Market America in 2004, it sounds like you joined a cult. Okay? I started my own franchise in 2004. I started a business. All right? The 45-year plan, nobody knows what that is. Even after the UBP, they still have no clue what that really is. It's basically people's jobs, residual income, HBP or UBP. Don't use the acronyms when you're talking to people. Okay? They don't understand what the acronyms mean yet. Home business presentation, unfranchised business presentation. You can say business briefing, business overview, etc. Prospecting is like fishing. Does anybody here like to fish? If you fish, you kind of go in one area and you fish for a while. And if things are biting, you stay there, right? But if something's not working, what do? You go somewhere else. You try something else. You use a different lure. You use different bait, whatever it may be. But you do something different. All too often, we're doing this. We're pulling out the shotgun and just going to see who we can hit. And some of you take it to the extremes, and you go this far. Great thing is, I did a Basic 5 a couple months ago, and one of the people in the room said, I own one of those. I'm like, I need a picture with that, because it'll put me in there. That'll be awesome. In front of my blue truck that says Tasty Tea. Facebook. Some people just take a grenade and or an M80 and throw it in the water and see what happens. That's being weird. Ask me how to make a 6-figure income part-time in 2 to 3 years. Please don't do that. Okay? Don't puke on people. You see this happen all the time too. Less is more. It's not that you're hiding things. It's not that you're not trying to tell them something. But when you, anybody here do puzzles? You know, like big puzzles, 1,000-piece puzzles. If I only give you 10 pieces of that 1,000-piece puzzle, are you going to get the big picture? Probably not. So if I can put you into an environment where I can give you the whole picture at one time, I'm much better off than giving you little niblets of different things, because you're not going to get the big picture. There's different approaches that you can use. Yes, I'm drinking coffee at 10:39. There's a direct approach and the evaluation/referral. The direct approach. You'd be great in my business. Great Elizabeth Weber approach. If I could show you a way, would you be interested? And it could be show you a way to be a stay-at-home mom, show you a way to retire early, go on more vacations. Would you be interested? Have you ever thought about owning your own business? What a great question to ask. Because do you know that the majority of Americans have wanted to own their own business, but a lot of them don't because of the risk that's involved or the time that might be involved in doing that? So what a great question to ask. 6 magic words or phrases: help, expand, or growing, meet with or interviewing, may or may not be interested, willing to evaluate with no pressure, and lead to other people. If you are a bullet point kind of person, okay, and you don't like scripts, use these 6 to make sure that you incorporate that when you're talking to people to set appointments. The script that I use, and I use it verbatim every single time. Hey Dawn, this is Ton, do you have a minute? Yes. Some people say, hey, I only have a second. Okay? It doesn't matter what you want to do. For some, it's all about different methodologies. Some people like, I only have a second? And some people say, do you have a minute? I'm not sure if you heard or not, but I started a business not too long ago. I'm now in the process of expanding and looking for people who might have an interest in. And this is where it's important to have hot buttons. If you know something about them, you can plug those hot buttons in. I'm looking for people that might have an interest in becoming a stay-at-home mom, retiring early, getting out of their day job, whatever it may be. If you don't know what to say, someone might have an interest in more money or more time, more income or more time. Okay? If you send me an email, I will send you the full script if you want it. I put scripts in front of people because it keeps people on track. Or if it's bullet points. It doesn't matter which one you use, but use something. I thought of you because, and it's good to compliment people. If you compliment people, it's harder for them to say no, right? I thought of you, Dawn, because you're extremely personable, you know a lot of people, and most importantly, Dawn, I know that you're open-minded. And that one is hard-coded into my script. And most importantly, open-minded. Because if you tell somebody that they're open-minded, what do they have to be? Open-minded. Okay? Now you got to let them off the hook. Excuse me. You may or may not be interested, but I'm hoping that you could help me by evaluating this. If you have interest, great. If you don't, that's cool too. Maybe you could lead me to some other people that might want to have more time or more money. Is that pretty simple? Pretty straightforward? It's not being weird, but it's getting your point across. I'd like to set up a time, about an hour, where we can sit down and have you evaluate this business concept. You're telling them what you want to do. I would like to set up a time. We need to get together. Whatever you want to say, I'd like to set up a time, about an hour, where we can sit down and have you evaluate the concept. It's not, hey Shane, hopefully you'll be able to join me and we can get together. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, hopefully we can get together. And I will almost guarantee you don't get an appointment. Be firm. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be a jerk. Okay? But you want to tell people what you expect. And I expect the appointment. I expect that we can get together. And if it's for you, great. If it's not, that's cool too. But we're going to get together. Does that make sense? Do you think you might be willing to meet with me? That does not work. Then set the appointment. All of a sudden, you've got somebody that's, sure, I'll meet with you. And you're like, oh, now what do I do? Set the appointment. Is anybody here not real busy? Realistic. You got open schedule, can do pretty much whatever you want to do. Okay? This is what I want to make sure you do. Because here, all too often, you'll hear, well, I'm available anytime this week, when do you want to get together? Or if you have a day job, I'm available anytime in the evening, when do you want to get together? Don't do that to yourself. Because busy people get things done, and people want to follow busy people. If you're wide open, there's subconsciously people think that you're not really that successful. I work 10 hours a week. I have a lot of extra free time. I always fill it with things, but I have a lot of time available to me. So I have to make sure that when I set appointments, I have to make it look like I'm busy no matter what. So I might say, hey, hey Dawn, I've got some time available on Monday or Wednesday. What day works better for you? Wednesday, great. Does during the day or the evening work better for you? During the day. Let's see, look at my schedule. Morning or afternoon? Morning. I've got two possibilities. Does 9 o'clock work for you, or does 11 o'clock work for you? 9's too early? Perfect. Well, I'll still need coffee at 11. So you want to get coffee at 11 at Starbucks?
Yes.
Perfect. We'll meet here, here, and here, or here at this place, okay? My day, actually my week might have been wide open, but didn't I make it sound like I was busy? Like I was squeezing her into my time schedule? By doing that, that will make my time more valuable to Dawn, and she'll be less likely to cancel the appointment. Now, I will take it one extra step. Hey Dawn, is there any reason that you wouldn't be able to make that appointment at 11 o'clock on Wednesday? Should be good? Great. At that point, if there's any chance that they may be late, they might not be able to make it, reschedule it for another time right away. Give yourself the best possibility of an appointment when you make that appointment. Because if you schedule it at, let's say, after work for somebody, what if they have to work a little bit late? They would be quick to reschedule it or cancel that appointment on you. So if, is there any reason that you'd be working late that day? Well, I might be able to. Well, should we move it to 6:30 instead of 6? So it'll give you more free time. Or if they say, I think I'll be able to make it there on time, push it back 15 minutes, push it back a half hour. Give them best possibility for that appointment. Listen to people, stop talking as much as you do, be prepared for objections. And just because somebody says no, that does not mean they're not interested. One of my favorite answers, to an objection is, what do you mean? And the answer is not an answer, it's a question. Because I think that once in a while, or probably more often than not, we will hear an objection, but we won't really know what the true objection is. Some people will say, well, is it one of those pyramid schemes? My answer is, well, what do you mean? Could I go on this long tangent of, no, corporate America is a pyramid scheme, the guy at the top makes all the money while everybody else does all the work, or pyramids are illegal, or this or that. I could go into this long dissertation on it, but I might not have overcome the question that they had. If I say, what do you mean? They say, well, isn't that where the guy at the top makes all the money and everybody else does all the work? I'll say no. And I'll leave it at that. And then maybe they'll say, is it Amway? Or is this network marketing? What do you mean? If someone says, is this Amway? And you go, no, it's nothing like Amway. We don't have to build two organizations, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, whoa, I liked Amway. My uncle did that 15 years ago, was very successful with it. And there are people that have been successful with it, or they like the concept of it. So don't shoot down, please don't shoot down any other company. I don't care what company it is. If someone else is in another company, congratulate them for what they do, and wish them the best of luck. If they're within the first year, I will ask you to not steal their dreams, okay, and try and get them out of their business and into yours. That'll create a vicious cycle for them of bouncing from company to company, but let them go do their business. Revisit them in 6 months, 9 months, a year. Say, how are things going with the company that you're with? The next best question, are you where you expected to be by now? And a lot of times their answer will be no. And ask them, well, why is that? And see if some of the solutions that we have will help them be more successful with our system in the future. Okay? I don't have any time. What do you mean? You can go on to a long story on how you can fit this into your schedule and this or that, but they might just mean that they're busy this week, but they'll have more time next week. Or they're working on a project at work, but very soon they'll be out of that project and they'll have more time. I don't have any money. What do you mean? Some people say, well, I don't have any money. And that's okay. Well, we can show you how to start a business with no money out of your pocket. Blah, 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 blah. All too often, we say too much. What do you mean? Well, I don't get paid till next Friday, so I can come on board next week. Well, I don't get paid till next week, so I can buy the products then. You don't assume that just because they say something small like this that you know the answer. Okay? Most people don't make any money at those things. I know someone who tried something like this before. What do you mean? Let them tell the story. Find out more information. Find out if they like it, if they don't like it, etc. Do I have to sell anything? What do you mean? You can be a smart aleck on that one. It's a business. Of course you have to sell something. All right? But what do you mean? Do I have to sell anything? If you say, no, you only need to sell $200 every 90 days, what kind of perception does that give of your business? Okay? But what happens if this person likes to sell? Then you've just taken away the possibility of them being a big retailer for you. Use form, family, occupation, recreation, and money. Identify their need, understand their situation, and offer a solution. Look at some of the reasons that people have. Why would you want to start a home-based business? Maybe it's a second paycheck, a college fund, savings and investments, mortgage or a car payment. I know people, two of the 3 top millionaires we have in our company, each wanted to start their business because they wanted an extra $300 a month. Think about that. One was for school, one was for a car payment. Maybe it's a backup plan, security or early retirement. Some of the benefits, you get to work part-time, flexible hours, potential tax advantages, being your own boss, more vacations, more time with your family. Find out these questions, find out these answers to these questions from the people that you're talking to. What are they looking for? If I could show you a way that you could go on more vacations, would you take a serious look at what I have to offer? If I could show you a way that you could spend more time with your kids, would you take a serious look at what I have to offer? When you are able to put the what's in it for me in their terms, they will look at the business plan. I've shown a lot of business plans, but in the beginning, I was showing a lot of business plans, but they weren't looking at it because I didn't give them a reason to look at it for them. Learn how to show the plan. If you don't know how to show the plan, use the 23-minute video. Follow up with DVP, and again, it's another step in believability. 100% of the people you bring show up. Did you catch that? If you bring them, they will show up. If you're standing at the front door hoping that they show up, that's an issue. The meeting after the meeting is the most important. Please make sure you ask this question. What did you like the most? And you sit and listen. Because that, whatever their answer is typically going to be their reason, their why. The money. Okay, great. If you had the money, what would you do with it? How would that help you? Have them rate themselves on a scale of 1, 2, or 3. 1, not interested in the business, but I'll use some products. 2, I want to get some more information. Or 3, let's get started. How do you rate yourself on a scale of 1, 2, or 3? And then zip it. Let them answer the question. Now, on a side note, you're at the UVP. You're in Shane's organization. You've asked your prospect, how do you rate yourself on a scale of 1, 2, or 3? When Shane walks up to you, your group, your organization, and says, hi, how are you doing? You, as the business owner, should turn to Shane and say, Shane, this is so-and-so. This person likes this and rated themselves a 3 out of 3 or a 2 out of 3, and they like this the most. Because otherwise, what are we going to do? So, what did you like the most? We're going to ask the same questions. So don't make us keep repeating ourselves, and that way you're not having 5 different distributors asking the same guest the same questions. Does that make sense? Then book the follow-up. Let's see, get some questions answered. Do you ask the hard questions? Do you close your prospects? You have to close them. They don't know when it's time to come on board. 2 methods. What would it take for you to start your business the next week? What would it take for you to get your business started tonight? Okay, very forward, very straightforward. Is there anything wrong with it? Absolutely not. You're running a business. Take control of it. Okay? You can also say something like, the next time we get together, do you want to get started on your business or your goals, or do you want to get some more information? It opens the door, but also says it's okay to still get more information. Either way works. Use different follow-up tools. Use the About MA, use your website. Again, you'll say, when do you want to see the business again? Let's get together so you can see it again so you can understand it some more. That does not work. You will have more people cancel the second appointment by saying this rather than finding out their reason. Now, if you keep promoting the business, you may not get very far. Don, why'd you start your business?
To be financially free.
Chris, why'd you start your business?
Because, well, for me, I looked at it, I thought it was a way for me
Luke, why'd you start your business?
Time.
Mike, why'd you start your business?
Time for my kids.
Did anybody say, because we've got this great business plan, we've got the product brokerage concept, we've got, you know, internet marketing, we've got this great shop.com website, we get 100% credit for the volume that's generated, we do volume searches to infinity. Does anybody ever say that? It has nothing to do with the business plan. We have the best business plan, the best compensation plan out there, but it has zero to do with it. Amway's got 8 million distributors, not because of their great compensation plan, but they're great at selling the dream and telling people that they can get what they want if they follow a system. I personally believe that we have a better system, and it's easier for the average person to succeed, but you still have to work at it. And it makes sense that if you understand what their reason is, you'll be able to move forward. We focus too much on the what. And that's the compensation plan, the business model, the business overview. And we focus on the what and the how, but we need to be focused on their why. People are motivated by their why. If they have a strong why, nothing can stop them. Okay? What's in it for me? Book follow-up appointments. Have people do a trial run. If they can't make up their minds, have them do a trial run. What's a trial run? Today's Tuesday. Let's say today's Monday. I showed you the business plan. Tomorrow night, there's the UBP. The best thing that you can do is bring some people with you, have them evaluate the concept with you, and if they say yes, it's a no-brainer. Because try this with your next prospect that's a 2. They rate themselves a 2. You know something, Don, and I see that you rate yourself a 2. Here's what I'm going to assume. That you can probably move in some of these products in one way, shape, or another, right? But the biggest question in your mind is, can I find the people, right? So what I want to do is, if you're a 2, the best way to get you to a 3 is to let's find some other people right away. So do you think that tomorrow night at our UBP, our unfranchised business presentation, the business overview, that you might be able to bring 2 or 3 people with you to have them evaluated with you? You want to take it a step further? How many people do you think you might be able to bring with you tomorrow night to have you evaluate this with you?
Maybe 4.
Okay, great. Well, I'll give you a challenge. Try for 5. Okay? Just to see how coachable they are. But if she brings 4 or 5 people with her tomorrow night at the UBP, it shows you she's coachable. It shows you that she'll lead to other people. And it will eliminate the fear of whether or not they can bring people with them or not. They can bring people on board. Okay? Have a sense of urgency. Meet with people 24 to 48 hours. Have information available for your prospects. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. When I say next, that means next. Call them in 3 to 6 months, you know, or later. I believe a no is just a not now. And there are people that I've been following up with 10 years that are still no's. But there are people that I've been following up with for 6 months or 5 years that they change their mind. They start buying products, and then they'll come on board. Things change. That's my youngest. First day of school, she got sent to the principal's office. It's hilarious. Like, yeah, that's my girl. Pre-registration appointment, please run your business like a business. Go through all the costs and all the expectations so people know what to expect before they start their business. The other day I did a registration. I said, okay, when you come on, before you come on board, I need to make sure that you go through all the requirements and the expectations. I use a video. You can go out onto my YouTube account. There's a pre-registration video that I've got out there. Shane's got a great one out there also. And what you can do is, what I do is everyone that I bring on board, if I'm part of the registration process, whether it's my personally sponsored or not, they have to watch the video. If they have not watched the video before we actually go through the sign-up wizard, I stop, I have them watch the video, I leave for 19 minutes, and I come back when it's done. Why? Because I want people to know what I expect and what they should expect out of the business. I want them to know about Transfer by 50 BB, 100 BB, 150 BB. I want them to know about the annual renewal, convention, seminars, UBPs, what the expectations are ahead of time. I use a video because it's duplicatable and everybody gets the same story every time. My video is so duplicatable, I haven't changed it since I was a professional coordinator. Okay? But it's the same video. I keep using the same video because it works. You can go onto a website that I created. It's called myindependentdistributor.com. Under Where Do I Start, there's a pre-registration video there too. Sell a ticket to the next event before you get started and join a fast track. I talked about 10-3-2 already, and it's point of contact to point of contact. You need